with General Philip Breedlove, the former NATO Supreme Allied Commander, Distinguished Chair at the Middle East Institute. A general, honor to have you. Thank you. What do you make of all that red on the map? The talk lately is that Russia wants to make sure it has that all locked down, and if peace talks resume tomorrow in Turkey as they're scheduled to, that will be one of Vladimir Putin's demands, that we lock in place a map that stands in place right now. What do you think of that?
There are two thoughts there. First of all, we have to remember the Russians are famous for a term they call maskirovka. And this could all be a diversion to take our mind off of them refitting and refurbing and getting ready for another push in the West. So we need to be careful because we still see heavy fighting in the West, and that could mean they're still concentrated there. On the second piece, he has had failures, and now he's trying to find a way to put together something to call a win and to come out of this in the negotiations with something he can show his people that this was all worth it, because they have also paid an incredible price. So I think we need to be paying attention to both of these options.
So the one option that has been touched on is that President Zelenskyy might not have an issue with the neutrality thing, whatever way we describe being neutral. But he could have a very big issue, that is Zelenskyy, with Russia trying to lock in place this demand of keeping the land it's already won. So that seems to be a non-starter, does it not?
That's a big problem for President Zelenskyy. I'm sorry?
So, no, you're quite right. I was just curious. Then what is the middle ground, General? I mean, they do seem far apart. They have tried to address not only the neutrality thing, and Zelenskyy saying he wouldn't entertain wanting to join NATO again, but Russia's the wild card here, right?
That's correct. And may I just say something about all the red you were talking about before?
Sure.
Remember that Russia's not holding all of that red ground. That is, Russia's primarily on the roads and in the small towns, and a lot of Ukrainians are still in those red areas and fighting. So this is not such an easy, done deal.
So you look for each side to save some face, right? I guess, General, in any negotiations. I sense Zelenskyy is showing more flexibility, certainly when it comes to the neutrality thing, no rush to join NATO, if any interest at all. But for Vladimir Putin, he's got to justify all of this to his people back home. And returning to the Ukraine that wouldn't do that, would it?
No, and that's going to be a big problem for Mr. Putin, because I do believe that President Zelenskyy is going to hold the line on not giving up all of that land that you show in red, because that's a big problem for him. I think it's going to be a tough negotiation, and they're both now jockeying for the best position on the battlefield to make their bargaining position stronger.
The errant comment, we're told, was an errant comment by Joe Biden, to talk about regime change and all of that. How do you think that's reverberating in Russia, in Moscow, in the mind of Vladimir Putin himself?
Well, clearly this is going to be a bit of an issue for all of us, because Mr. Putin will use that as a rallying cry. See, I told you, they're after me, they're after us. And so that is going to be a problem. But frankly, I think that the White House and others are trying to work through that now. And what we need to be focused on is how we help Ukraine through the next couple weeks of this war, which are going to be tough ones.